Everybody, welcome back to the forge. So I was cleaning up today, trying to get everything kind of in order before I get back to that video. But I kind of thought in my process of cleaning that new people getting into forging and blacksmithing would probably like to know what are some essential tools that you need in a blacksmith shop. So today I'm going to kind of go over what I have. Again, it's not all cleaned up, but we're getting pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around and kind of show y'all what I think is essential in a blacksmith workshop. So here we go. Alrighty, so starting out here, I'm going to go first with the forge. Having a forge is very important. This one is in a state of disarray. It is needing some very much needed TLC, or maybe just a whole new one. That may be a video in itself, but forge is gonna go on number one. Without a forge, you can't heat your metal. So there's really no blacksmithing to be done. As far as secondly, probably some controversy here, but I'm gonna say the anvil is going to be your second most important item in a blacksmith's workshop. And the reason I say that, this vise over here actually has an anvil face on it. So you don't necessarily need something this big. So that's why it's going second on the list, because you can get away with not having a full-blown anvil and still do some metal work. Preferably, I like a big anvil. It's easier to work on, easier to move metal with. So speaking of moving metal, we're gonna move on to our third thing, which is a good hammer. This one is an older hammer that I've acquired from one of my good friends. He actually didn't give it to me, he left it at my shop, so it became mine. But a good hammer, good size hammer, something that feels right in your hands, leading on into a pair of tongs. With the hammer, the anvil, and the forge, you can make yourself a pair of tongs. You can also buy them. There's a couple places here in Texas to buy them. One of them being Texas Knife Makers. What was that? Texas Knife Making Supply. There's a place to buy them there. You can get them at Jant's. I think there's a couple other places, and if you have a local farrier, ask him if he's got some old tongs that he doesn't use anymore. He may just give them to you. So moving on from our fourth item here, like I pointed out earlier, a good vise. Doesn't necessarily have to have an anvil on the back of it. If you already have an anvil, it doesn't need one, but it's nice to have, do small work on. But a good vise is important to have. Something that's pretty reliable. This one was a Harbor Freight vise. I like them because you can take them apart and fix them without having to go buy a new vise. And vices are not cheap. It's about $100. You know, I mean, you can get by without one and just doing work on the anvil and the forge and never have to touch a vise. But if you're going to be getting into more advanced blacksmithing and kind of doing some more trinkets or even bladesmithing like I am, a vise is a good thing to have, and a good one to get, I would say, is this one here. Like I said, easy to take apart, easy to repair. Haven't had really any issues with them before, which is going to lead me into my next one. Good set of hand files. Hand files are important. I wouldn't say they're the most important. You don't have to have hand files, but having a good set of them can come in handy, especially when you're working on small stuff like leaves or trinkets and such. Good set of hand files, that's always nice. Definitely don't cheap out on hand files. You can tell the difference. I've done that once before. Definitely won't do it again. Which leads me into my last part of this, is going to be a good grinder. I would say you can get a cheap grinder, but on power tools and such, buy once, cry once. Buy something that's going to be reliable and last you a long time. I've had that grinder for maybe 5-6 years now. Haven't had any issues with it. I've kind of been tough on it, put it through some stuff, and it still works. So that's kind of something I would say is go ahead and get you a good hand grinder that you can work with for a while. Overall, that's all I have. I can make another video going into detail about some of this other stuff that I've got here that I use sometimes. This one's actually broken, but some of this other stuff you'll see in videos that I use quite a bit. And that may be something that y'all want to see later on, as well as this. This is homemade. But overall, that is my top most important tools to have in a blacksmith's workshop. So if y'all enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave some comments if you want to see some of the other stuff that I've got sitting over there and kind of what I use it for, and if you want to see more of where I get everything from and how much all this would cost in the end, definitely let me know. I would love to make a video on the rest of my tools that I have here and what I use the most. So I greatly appreciate it. I'll see y'all in the next video.